Coming to you this morning from our vacation in Las Vegas, Nevada, and hopefully your weather is as good as Las Vegas is right now, but maybe not. You'll notice I do have long sleeves on because it is colder in Las Vegas than it is in Riverside. All right, let's get down to it here. We have right now this morning, Tesla has, according to Sawyer Merritt, Tesla has officially launched its new Megapack project in Shanghai. Finally, with an annual production capacity goal of 10,000 megapacks, like Lathrop. This is the current number that we know of from the executives at Tesla for Lathrop. We've been hearing, of course, from Bradford that Lathrop is probably double that now, or going to be double that, but we haven't got that officially. Anyway, a land acquisition and signing ceremony for the project was held in Shanghai on Friday morning, marking the official start of what the company calls a milestone project. Construction of the plant was scheduled to begin in late third quarter of this year, but with production commencing in the second quarter of 2024. However, this means that the start of construction has been slightly delayed. The factory should open in quarter 3 of 2024. So that's gonna be a fast starting that baby up. So that's equivalent, what people don't think about and what the street is not thinking about. And nobody is going to put this in their spreadsheet until 15,000 people tell them. This is the equivalent on profit of about 250,000 Model Ys, and it will ramp up much faster than a Model Y plant or than the Cybertruck plant. So this is going to be impacting the numbers in the fourth quarter of 2024 and impacting big in 2025, equivalent to a brand new 250,000 auto plant. Anyway, just saying. This is Randy Kirk. This is, you want to hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit notify. We've got today, I'm going to do a summary of where we are on Optimus. That's going to be out around the noon hour. This is going to be one of my more important videos that I've ever done. You want to take a look at this. And it's summarizing the last week of reporting that we've been doing, but it's also going beyond that to add, I think, a lot of answers to the questions that you're asking about Optimus. Questions, hey, a bunch of you out there, you already know the answers to everything I'm going to say. Of course you do. Well, maybe not. And there's some of you, though, that are still asking questions that are, let's just say, I straighten those out. All right. And I think it's a valuable video for you to take a look at. Please hit Patreon down below. Go to the description. Just push on the link. Go over there. Contribute to the channel. $5 a month would be great. Be a super help. $10 would be even better. But hey, $5 a month, I think you can do that. If you can't, don't do it. Okay. Only if you can afford it. Even before the announcement today of the equivalent of a 250,000 vehicle factory in terms of profit, Dan Ives upped his 2024 price target to 350 to 350 from 310. This according to Barron's. Of course, Ives is a bull. Tom Narayan, a Tesla bear, has dropped his delivery estimate for quarter 4 to the point where he thinks that Tesla will not quite hit the 2.8 million deliveries. He's got it at 2.78. He's cited lower registration numbers. But again, you got to take into consideration that Narayan is a bear, and you got to take into consideration that Dan Ives is a bull. Now, Dan Ives says his numbers are based on the fact that he thinks 2024 numbers are going to be stronger. The automotive numbers, that's all he's looking at. I mean, yes, Dan Ives knows about energy, and he knows about Optimus, and he knows about full self-driving, and he cares about all those things, and he's excited about those things. But what he's really talking about here is just automotive sales. James Catt, he's known as @TeslaFanMTL on X, says this morning, the ramp seems to be going very well on Cybertruck. Tesla making about 40 trucks a day now, increasing almost every day. It's going up. At 40 a day, that would be a 12 to 15,000 yearly rate. This from the Bureau of Economic Statistics. This is the number that we've all been waiting for. This is the final nail in inflation's coffin. This is the absolute runner. This should be the underpinning of the next stage of the bull. The PCE price index increased less than 0.1%. When you take out food and energy, the price increased 0.2%. And then real DPI increased 0.3% in October. Real PCE increased 0.2%. Goods increased 0.1%, and services, though, increased 0.2% in total spending. This is the sixth straight month where the month-over-month core has been at an average of 2%, or an annual rate that would mean over the 6 months of around 2.4. This is what the Fed has wanted to see. They were only asking for 4 months or more, but now they've got 6 months. So yeah, is it still just a little bit above 2%? But you can't, this is gunning for an exact 2.0% would be folly. And the Fed is not that foolish. They know it's not going to be exactly 2%. And it was absolutely nuts when you've got it falling at these rates to not adjust sooner rather than later, because then you overshoot. And that is pretty much the last thing the Fed wants to do right now, is to overshoot. So I'm suspecting, now this is the first time I'm going to say this, I'm thinking March, we might have the decrease in the Fed rate before March, based on the numbers today, because the year-over-year number kept coming down too. It's now 3.5. That's year over year, so that takes in consideration 6 months where the numbers were not as good. And the core and headline is at the headline is at 3.0, dropping from 3.4 because, of course, energy costs have dropped a bunch. Now, I know that the Fed is more interested in core, but the truth of the matter is energy is a part of the market, so it matters. Anyway, this is the trend the Fed should be watching like a hawk, though. Now, listen to this. 4.12 billion increase in current dollar PCE in October reflected an increase of 53.1 billion in spending for services, offset by an 11.9 billion decrease in spending for goods. So if we got those kind of decreases in spending on goods, that is not good. Certainly not good for goods. Anyway, Trueflation also dropped, is now down to 2.76 under their new formula, getting also in the same range here as what we're talking about with the Fed, or with the government statistics. All right, mortgage rates, as you know, are based on bond rates, not on the Fed rate. And so we've seen mortgages dropped almost exactly as bonds have. We're now down under 7%. Somewhere, I think it was 6.78 was the last number I saw. We could be definitely in the low sixes later in 2024. Now, recognize that 6% is the 100-year average on mortgage rates for 30-year mortgages. And so this should be a big boon, a big spur to builders starting to build new homes, and then people buying those homes and then spending money on mortgages and on the aftermarket goods. Together, you take all that together, it's about 10% of the economy. So I think we're looking for more strength in 2024 than anybody is projecting at this point. Now, speaking of long-term products, we also had the what do you call it? long-lasting U.S. manufactured goods report. The orders for long-lasting U.S. manufactured goods surged in November, boosted by aircraft bookings. So it was all aircraft bookings. Business spending on equipment appeared lackluster. That's the whole thing I'm talking about. So the Commerce Department said durable goods items ranging from toasters to aircraft meant to last 3 years or more jumped 5.4% last month, and that's 2 months in a row that it's jumped like that. But it's all about the aircraft, etc. The economists had only expected a 2.2% increase, but the aircrafts and defense spending increased it more than expected. Manufacturing, which accounts for 10.3% of the economy, continues to be hamstrung by higher interest rates. Well, that'll stop, but I don't think that's what's hamstringing the production of goods. I think it is overall consumer confidence. In other words, I don't think that small businesses and medium-sized businesses are not out there worried about where they can get good interest rates right now. We've shown that over and over again from other reporting. So I don't think the interest rates coming down are going to stimulate them to buy more equipment or expand their properties or whatever else. They're looking for the consumer to be even as strong or stronger in 2024. And they've been worried for, 15 months that the economy is going to go in a pit. So they've been holding back. If the consumer gets confident, and that means the small business owners, medium-sized business owners get confident, then we'll see these goods orders start to pick up. Defense spending on durable goods is important and does stimulate the economy, and Boeing is a huge contributor. Non-defense capital goods orders, excluding aircraft, is a more closely watched proxy for business spending plans, rebounded 0.8%, but it was down 0.6% in the prior month. These so-called core capital goods orders were previously reported to have declined 0.3% in October, so it was worse than expected last month. So where are the markets now? They should be up and strongly up. We've got Tesla up 1.28%, outstripping everybody else. Everybody else. The market, though, Dow is up 0.32, the NASDAQ up 0.54, S&P up 0.53. This is kind of a weak response to the PCE and all the other good news, but maybe it's just trying to figure out if there is room. Well, there should be plenty of room to keep going up. That's my opinion. Yes, the greed number is up to super greed or whatever, but I think we're okay. All of the Mag 7 are up, but none of them as much as Tesla, and almost all of the Cathie Woods. Only Square is down a tiny bit. Everybody else is up much stronger than the Mag 7. Again, when these interest rates come down, it really helps the Cathie Woods. So you've got things like ARCG up 3%, CRISPR up 4.5%, 2U up 5.46%. And so you can see what I'm talking about. It really, really, really impacts those stocks. All right, so listen, in dollar amounts, we have got the Dow up 112, NASDAQ up 78, S&P up 25, and Tesla up $2.73 at 257.23. One more time. Let's try to break through that 260. Maybe today will be the day. Let's look at the rest of the numbers now. Going to the bonds, we have the bonds down. Again, I think this is a bottom. Regardless of PCE, regardless of anything else, I think until the Fed starts actually moving, or until we see inflation dropping through the 2% level and starting to be scary in terms of, when we get the numbers on productivity, if the productivity numbers are as strong as the last time, we could see inflation going below 2% for sure. As I've mentioned before, I could see deflation, and I think those productivity numbers will be extremely strong. But what we got right now is we've got the 10-year down another 2 basis points at 3.873, starting to look like it's going to hit this area that it was the other day. I don't think it can go lower, so I would be surprised to see it continue to go lower. But even more surprising is that the 2-month is up 3 basis points. So at 5.4, just crazy. The 2-year, however, is down 3 basis points. So that's what that inversion is the one everybody pays more attention than they do to the 2-month. But all of the medium term, the 1-year, the 2-year, the 3-year, all of them are the yields are down 2.5%, 3% this morning. So that's to be expected. That's what we would expect from this PCE report. Okay, then what we have in the rest of the reporting here, we've got oil up 99 cents, $75. We've got Brent still $5, little over $5.50 higher. So there's still Red Sea issues, or that would probably slide back to its kind of historic $3 difference. Natural gas down a full 1% right now. So that flies in the face of my Red Sea story. So who knows? But natural gas, we know, huge stockpiles, massive, massive stockpiles. So unless there's a harsh winter in Europe and or in the United States, we're probably going to see natural gas staying at in this low range, because there's just so much of it right now. All right, we have got gold up strongly this morning, $30. That's probably because the dollar is really low, and the dollar is likely to stay low with these numbers coming in. Copper is up a little bit, 0.33% this morning. The dollar is at 3-week lows, and we have got the Bitcoin down just a bit. It's still sitting right at 43.7, which is in that range. 43 to 44 is where it's been for a few days. Okay, going back to Tesla real quick, as we love to do. It is now up $1.95 at 256.45. All right, over the past 2 days, I have done, actually all this week, we've been taking a look at the Optimus situation. This is, of course, the biggest thing going on at Tesla. It is the one you should be paying the most attention to if you are in Tesla stock, because this is eventually what's going to blow the lid, I mean, completely off the stock. And it isn't a pipe dream. It isn't even as, let's just say, the likelihood of Optimus doing useful things in a factory is probably at least 5 times as great. I'm just pulling this out of the air. Okay, 5 times as great as the likelihood of FSD becoming something that could be used for robotaxi next year. The Optimus is easier. It's just a lot easier than doing FSD. This is going to be a massive, massive contributor to the bottom line, I think, in 2024, but pretty much everybody agrees that by 2025, it will be contributing huge, huge numbers to Tesla's bottom line. So I did an analysis with Larry Goldberg on Wednesday, in-depth analysis. I'll put the card up for that. I did an in-depth analysis with Scott Walter yesterday, who is the robot expert, the #1 expert on this kind of stuff in our community. And that was a very long and in-depth study we did yesterday. I'll put that card up as well. You really should go back and take a look at those today. Then I'm going to kind of take what we learned in those two, add it to the other stuff that I believe, because I think I'm not an expert in robots, but I think I've probably done the most independent research in the category of the Optimus robot of anyone, and bringing it in from all different resources for this channel. I'm also starting an Optimus channel that will be only about Optimus, and I'll give you a final report on when that channel is going to start here in the next few days. All right, so go back and take a look at those. Hit notify so that you can be part of, take a look at what I have coming out for you today. And the weekend is probably going to be odd. I'm on vacation. It's Christmas weekend. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be doing. I will have a Q&A, your comments, my comments about your comments. That will be up Saturday morning. I think I'm going to be meeting with Larry tonight for Good News Friday night. That's probably going to happen, but I'm not 100% sure based on where we are and what we're doing today here in Las Vegas. But plan for that, but we'll see what happens. Last look at Tesla, $1.80, sticking around in that same range, kind of actually topped off. It was up as much as, it was at 258.22 for the high. So it has come off of that. It's come off $2. Okay, so it was up as much as 373. Now 154. Somebody's taking profits. Who's taking profits out there? Stop it. We're supposed to be going up to 260 today. All right, I'm done. It's been great talking to you.